The thing I love about romantic comedies is it's the one genre you can't hide in. You can't hide who you really are in a romantic comedy because everybody in the world is an expert in love, in romance. In a science fiction movie or a crime thriller, you know, you can kind of hide who you are, but you can't do that in a romantic comedy. And so when you sit down to write a romantic comedy, you're actually exposing some very personal, vulnerable things about you, and you have to be ready for that.
You know, I didn't want this just to be a funny, talky film with lots of very good dialogue, which it is, and that's one version of the film you can make. But I did, you know, I wanted to make sure that the director had a vision for it. And you know, when I met Michael, he talked about films like Manhattan and It Happened One Night and kind of all these great romantic comedies.
It actually had been sent to me like a couple of years or 3 years previously, and I was right in the middle of some madness on another project. I really wasn't, you know, it wasn't really on my bucket list in terms of genres to make the romantic comedy, but once I read the script, I just fell in love with the comedy of it, and I felt like the film really had a great shot at being legitimately both romantic and funny, which I think a lot of romantic comedies these days aren't.
Okay, bye Wallace.
Bye, Nicole.
I first started working on it in 2004. I mean, I think I actually put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard in 2005. So something like The Blacklist, it's like, okay, here's a little boost of confidence, you're on the right track, keep going. I tied with Jason Reitman's script for Up in the Air, and I was like, I mean, that seemed crazy to me, that we would, you know, my script would be at the same level as that. And I think it just opened a lot of doors for me to work with some amazing people. They want to read your script. There's so many scripts floating out there. You know, there's thousands and thousands. What are they going to read? You know, what are they going to take home to read that weekend?
Bam! I immediately was attracted to Alain's writing, to the sort of wit and humor in it, and also I thought it had real heart. It was very balanced in terms of, I think, how it looked at the men and women in the story, and that's something pretty unusual. Like most of the scripts I read, even scripts that aren't romantic comedies, don't have that kind of balance.
And I liked that the girls were really strong, smart, funny characters, and it wasn't just all about, you know, them servicing the guys and the guys' humor in this movie. There's a really nice balance. At the heart of all of these female characters are really good, strong women, and I think it just makes the story that much more interesting.
Let's do the shit.
Yeah.
You know, what I liked a lot about the script is that they actually use the sense of humor in the comedy to actually create romance.
Oh, you did look pale. I just assumed you were like, I don't know, like anemic or partially albino.
I love the idea of trying to write like an ethical romantic comedy. Daniel and Zoe talk about this in one of the scenes in the movie, the idea that love can be the all-purpose excuse for terrible behavior. And when you think about it, most romantic comedies, the way that the characters behave is basically sociopath. They have the lying and the manipulations that are just typical of the genre.
She's my cousin, it's like incest.
She's not my cousin.
Yeah, but you're like my brother, so it's like my brother asking my advice on how to incestuously bang my cousin.
If you actually take a step back, if anybody in your life did that, you would never talk to them again.